Welcome to the NBA's greatest games. Today, we'll take you back into NBA history and relive one of the great matchups as it happened.
From the Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's the 20th annual NBA All-Star Basketball Game, featuring the outstanding players from the Eastern Division taking on the extraordinary players of the Western Division. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Schenkel, welcoming you to the Spectrum, a beautiful arena here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A capacity crowd, 15,244, to see 24 the world's greatest basketball players in this 20th annual classic. It's comfortable inside, but outside there is a snowstorm in the Philadelphia area. Owners' meetings, general managers, coaches of the National Basketball Association have been going on here, as this is the classic that sort of separates the season, the mid-season point. Although the meetings have been many and very important discussions, the commissioner of the NBA, Walter Kennedy, he really, I don't think, has been talking that much, but he does have a bad throat. But we want him to officially welcome you to our ABC exclusive telecast here in Philadelphia. Commissioner, it's good to see you.
Chris, I'm not sure whether I'll even be able to welcome our tremendous TV audience. I haven't spoken since Saturday because I have an infection of my larynx, but it's a real delight once again via ABC to welcome the millions of viewers our great showcase, our annual NBA All-Star Game. And of course, we're as proud to have it on ABC and in Philadelphia as you and the Philadelphia 76 host team is to have it here in this 20th rendition of our All-Star Game.
Well, Walter, the NBA feels very proud to have you as its commissioner, and thank you for stopping by.
Good luck.
Thank you, Walter. And here on our live color telecast from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, our regular Game of the Week expert analysis, that great star with the Cincinnati Royals, second in field goal percentage in all-star competition, and in one game, Jack Twyman scored 27 points in the first half. That was in St. Louis some years ago. Jack, how are you?
Fine, Chris. Nice to be here with you, and it looks like we'll have a great ball game. The West suffered a very devastating blow in the loss of Nate Thurmond, and I'm sure that you and I wish Nate well in San Francisco, but this game is always a great game. As you mentioned, I played in 6 of them, and there's 13 players, 12 players out there, and they're going to be playing with everything they have, and it will be a great contest.
You know, there are probably some spectators that feel their favorite is not in the lineup. There are 24 total players. How do they get into this game?
Well, Chris, the players get into the game. The first 8 players are picked as a result of the poll of sportscasters and sports writers in the various cities. The remaining 4 players are picked by the 2 coaches, Richie Guerin and Red Holzman. And of course, it's interesting, the conspicuous by their absence are players such as we mentioned Nate Thurmond. Will Chamberlain is not here, of course, having been injured November the 7th. And last year's Rookie of the Year and most valuable player in the NBA, Wesley Unseld, is not on hand. So there are a lot of players that perhaps could be here that aren't here because of the great players here this evening.
And of course, in any major sport, there are human interest stories, and one that I know you'll be delighted to hear. For the first time in the history of this game in its 20th year, 2 brothers are playing, identical twins, Tom and Dick Van Arsdale.
Of course, you're going to be talking to Tom and Dick at halftime, and they're 2 great competitors, and perhaps we'll see them play one another, which would be even more an interesting matchup.
That's right, they're all here. Robertson, West, Baylor, Havlicek, Willis Reed. You'll be seeing them play momentarily.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll have to agree that you just saw 24 extraordinary players, 2 fine coaches in Richie Guerin for the West All-Stars and Red Holzman of the Knickerbockers for the East All-Stars. So we're ready to go, and in this series, the East is favored. They have won 13. The West has won 6. The East has won 5 of the last 6 All-Star games. And I know the West tonight would, even though they've got great players here, great pivot men, they certainly would like to have Nate Thurmond, who is in the hospital recovering from a knee operation. And Nate, we hope you enjoy our telecast out in San Francisco. There you see the All-Star Series record, the and the West 6. Last year the game was played in Baltimore. And before 12,000 fans, the East won 123 to 112. The two officials now are on the court. Veteran Richie Powers and Jack Madden. They're here, and there is an alternate, a third official named Ed Rush. So if you're watching in color our live telecast from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the West starting five out on the court in the brilliant red uniforms with black trim. And the Big E, Alvin Hayes, is in the center circle right now, and now the West in white with the red trim.
Chris, the great thing about this game is that you'll see some matchups that you'll never see in the normal regular season schedule. For instance, probably we'll see Jerry West going against Oscar Robertson. Willis Reed and Alvin Hayes, and in the front court, Elgin Baylor being guarded by John Havlicek.
The West in the red uniforms control it. That's Connie Hawkins trying to get a pass off to Hayes. Hayes' shot is rebounded by Oscar Robertson of Cincinnati. Quickly to the Knicks, Walt Frazier, number 10. There's Robertson, number 14, Cunningham. Of the Philadelphia 76ers is Elgin Baylor. Rebounds. Number 44 is Jerry West, picked up by number 10, Walt Frazier. In red, the West. This is Lou Hudson. Oscar Robertson gets his second rebound and quickly gives to Havlicek of the Celtics. Billy Cunningham on the rebound. And the East takes a 2-0 lead in the fast break for the West. Hawkins couldn't control it, and it's taken by Walt Frazier of New York. The East in the white uniforms. Cunningham tries to feed Havlicek under, and Jerry West gets a stray ball. 2-0 is the score here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. In the corner, Elgin Baylor. No. The rebound by Hayes outside to Hudson. And both teams hot. They'll settle down in a moment. Again, Oscar Robertson picked up by Atlanta's Lou Hudson. Keeping the ball outside. Now into Havlicek. Guarded by Hawkins. A come-around layup missed, and Baylor rebounds and passes off to his Laker teammate, Jerry West. East leading 2-0. And now we have a tie score, and
in the backcourt for the East, we have Walt Frazier and Oscar Robertson, and their strategy is going to be to slow it down, work for the open shot. They're a good passing club. On the other hand, the West wants to run because they are at a disadvantage from the rebounding standpoint. They want to get that ball down the floor before the East can set up.
Deflected pass, controlled by Hayes. Hayes to Baylor. Baylor to Jerry West, number 44. Guarded by Frazier. Now Frazier picks up Lou Hudson. This is Connie Hawkins of Phoenix. Hawkins and Hayes trying to rebound, but Willis Reed of the Knickerbockers. We have a jump ball in the West foul circle. Tie score with 9:59 remaining in this first 12-minute quarter. Well, it's going to be on the left. 43, that is Hawkins, and 19, Willis Reed. Taken by Oscar Robertson. John Havlicek, a lead pass to Reed. And the East leads 4-2. The backcourt men for the West in the red uniforms. West 44, Hudson 23. West controlling it. And despite the menacing guarding of Frazier, West now has 4 points. High score at 4 all. Robertson, last year's most valuable player. This is Frazier.
And you see the West is not allowing Jerry West to guard Oscar Robertson. Walt Frazier guarding Jerry West and vice versa, while Oscar Robertson taking Lou Hudson.
That was Hayes giving to Hudson. And there's an offensive foul, as you probably saw, Hudson charging in. So it's Robertson, 14, into 10. Frazier to 17, Havlicek. Willis Reed. On fine move, very agile with a fake and then the result.
As you can see, there's not a lot of team play. It's a lot of individual play, picks and rolls, because these players convened yesterday, and it's very difficult in the span of a day to get a lot of organized play. So you revert back to the individual one-on-one, picks and screens, pick and rolls, and a lot of real good individual play on the part of these ball players, Chris.
The East is leading 8-4. The West with the ball. Elvin Hayes of San Diego. Hawkins of the Phoenix Suns. Jack Madden spots a foul. So going to the line now on a Cunningham foul will be Connie Hawkins of the West. 23.4 average, 6'8", and he's a tremendous ball handler, as you'll undoubtedly see tonight.
One statistic we ought to mention at the top is Elgin Baylor and Oscar Robertson stand at 209 points in all-star competition. They both need 16 points to surpass Bob Pettit's record of 224.
And now looking at Frazier of the East. Hayes on a fine rebound for the West. It's his second of the ball game. Jerry West of the Los Angeles Lakers. And the forward, Connie Hawkins, commits his first foul, an offensive foul, so the offended team will inbound it.
For the first 5 or 8 minutes, all we see is one team feeling out the other team, giving it to one player or another, see who can have an advantage over the player that's guarding him. They're feeling one another out, Chris.
A lot of picking, screening, and now holding is called against Connie Hawkins. Back-to-back fouls on the Phoenix Sun star as Willis Reed goes to the line. Reed of the Knickerbockers. Incidentally, following medical examination yesterday, determined that he does not have an ulcer. He has a spasm near his left rib cage. And boy, that's good news for not only Willis, but his followers.
Willis was a very happy man when he came to Philadelphia.
Willis Reed with 5 of the 9 East points. The East leading 9-6. Jerry West, one of the 2 strong guards on the Western team. Baylor, 22. Hawkins, 42 to Hayes, 11. And under the bucket. Foul. Reed defensively for the East. Let's watch it again.
Here's that play. There you see Elvin Hayes faking Willis Reed up, and he's got from behind there as he goes up for the basket.
And that is Reed's first foul. Hayes of the Rockets in San Diego's Jerry West tries to steal it away from Frazier. Richie Powers, the referee, helps put it in play. Billy Cunningham of Philadelphia, Havlicek of Boston. And Hawkins goes up for the rebound, and let's see, he was he fouled by Cunningham? I guess not. There's Red Holtzman. His first year as an all-star coach at the helm of the Knickerbockers since December of '67. And Mr. West, a hot hand.
And you see Willis Reed staying inside. Richie Guerin, I talked to him before the game, and if they can't get Willis Reed out from inside, he plans to put Elvin Hayes at forward to try and open up the middle. So let's see how that strategy develops.
Willis Reed of the East. Hayes rebounding for the West, his third. West quickly to Baylor. And Willis Reed to Billy Cunningham. Cross court to Robertson. Frazier. And the quick reflexes of Robertson saving. The Big O. 11-8 now. The East All-Stars leading with 6 minutes and 42 seconds. This is Richie Guerin watching his West team with the ball now. Jerry West. Connie Hawkins. Elgin Baylor rebounding. Double team. Jump ball.
There we saw that strategy. Connie Hawkins, after Elvin Hayes pulled outside, opened it up inside for Connie Hawkins to work one-on-one against Billy Cunningham. Billy tied him up.
And the East controls it. Hudson's guarding Robertson. Deflects the ball. Frazier saves it. Under to his teammate Reed. Hayes defensively. Comeback shot by Reed. Reed now with 7 points. The East 13. The West 8. Jerry West to his backcourt mate, Hudson, Lou Hudson of Atlanta. Elgin Baylor. 11th time an All-Star. West his 10th time. And John Havlicek quickly admits that he fouled on the play.
There's Jerry West going up on a classic jump shot. For any youngster looking in, Chris, there's a perfect way to shoot a jump shot. Right up in the air.
There's a timeout here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia with the score. The East All-Stars 13, the West 8. You're looking at the East All-Stars on a live color telecast from Philadelphia. Red Holtzman, the coach, he of the New York Knickerbockers, talking to his team, who has a 5-point lead, 13-8. And if you just joined us, this is the 20th annual All-Star Game. 12 of the great players from the East and Western Division. And here's one of them, Jerry West, number 44.
Thus far in the ball game, Willis Reed has had his own way inside underneath the basket. And when Atlanta has played New York this year, Bill Bridges has done a great job on Willis Reed. So I'm sure Richie Guerin has that in the back of his mind, and we might see Bill Bridges come in to guard Willis Reed.
Here's Jerry West, 3 for 3 from the field. Pretty solid at that foul line, too. Number 1 scorer in the NBA, 31 average. And number 6 in assists, 7.5 per game. In the lineup now for the West, we have number 24, Jeff Mullins. And he now has to switch off and guard Reed. Does a good job at blocking out. And Jack Madden says the ball belongs to the East. The Eastern All-Stars in white, if you just joined us. Red trim. Havlicek, Willis Reed, guarded by Baylor. 15-9.
I might say, Chris, with the exception of Reed, the shooting has been rather cold. And this is a big game for these players, and it takes about 5 to 8 minutes to get loose, to feel each other out, and I'm sure the balls will start to drop pretty soon.
Hawkins and Reed and Hayes going for the rebound, and Havlicek comes up with it, but Jeff Mullins steals it away. Jeff Mullins of San Francisco, former Duke player. Robertson from Cincinnati passes into Boston's Havlicek. Cross court to North Carolina's Billy Cunningham. Cunningham now with 4 points. 17-9. The East leading the West with the ball.
Billy Cunningham is calling for that ball. He wants to work one-on-one against Connie Hawkins.
Shot by Hayes, battled for. Hayes gets it. Jerry West to Hawkins. And Willis Reed fouls Connie Hawkins on the play, and that's the second foul on number 19, Willis Reed.
Here's a pass from Jerry West. Connie Hawkins with the ball. Look at the way he palms that ball. And he goes up in the air. You decide for yourself if that's a foul. Connie Hawkins on the line.
2 substitutions. Chet Walker has replaced Elgin Baylor in the West lineup. And Hal Greer, the veteran, has come in replacing Walt Frazier for the East. Connie Hawkins at the line. (17-11). The East leading. Here's Greer, number 15. Quickly to Havlicek. To Cunningham. The outside weave goes back to Greer. Havlicek. Cunningham. Hawkins to Jeff Mullins, number 24. Hayes, 11. Traveling called. Good try by Hayes.
You notice on the play before, Jerry West had no chance to get that rebound, but he kept that ball alive by just tick to Billy Cunningham. A fine play by Jerry West.
Chet Walker commits the foul as we have Bob Rule coming into the ball game at 6'9", 235 pounds, giving Elvin Hayes a rest. Product of Colorado State. And here is John Havlicek, collegiate at Ohio State. Number 5 scorer in the NBA. It's his first from the foul line and his first point. 18-11. This is Rule, who has replaced Hayes. Back outside to Jeff Mullins. Guarded by Robertson. Now Havlicek and Robertson switch. Chet Walker, 25. Mullins over a Rule screen. And the rebound comes off. Al Greer quickly to Havlicek. To Robertson. And Oscar. Great hook shot. Now with 4 points.
The West just cannot penetrate. They're taking bad shots. They can't get Willis Reed out from inside, so they haven't been able to get inside for the easy shots.
9-point lead, largest of the ball game. This is Jerry West. Connie Hawkins. West. Hawkins. Whoops. Richie Bauer says there is a foul. And it's called on Greer, his first. And now from the Baltimore Bullets, in comes number 25, Gus Johnson, giving John Havlicek a rest for the East. 20-11. The East is in the lead, and at the foul line again, he draws fouls, Connie Hawkins.
He has great ball control. With Gus Johnson and Willis Reed in that front line, that's about as muscular a front line as you'll find in the NBA. And it makes things even rougher for the West to get that ball off the boards.
6 for 6 from the foul line. Here's Hal Greer now in his 10th All-Star game. Most valuable player at the Garden in New York in 1968. This classic. Oscar Robertson. Bob Rule guarding Oscar at the moment. Willis Reed. Triple team. Well, he is fluid motion. Just tremendous. He has 11 points, 11 of the 22 for the East. And Greer steals and a lead bounce pass to Robertson. 24-13. Chet Walker.
That's Robertson's 6th point, and as we mentioned, he needs 16 to break Bob Pettit's all-time record of 224.
Okay, Jack, and with timeout here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the East leads the West 24-13.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Unusual statistic for the West, trailing here with 2:41 to go in the first quarter, 24-13. Jerry West has the only 3 field goals scored by the West after 9 minutes and 19 seconds of play.
And the reason why is West is a great outside shooter, and he can hit from the outside, and the West has not been able to get inside.
And there he is, 7'2" Lou Alcindor, the only rookie of the 24. He was called for goaltending right off as Dave DeBusschere comes into the East lineup. He's the New York Knickerbockers. Now, Chet Walker. Walker to Jerry West. Gets around Greer. Jeff Mullins. Well, there's a field goal. Other than West's 3, Jeff Mullins gets the only other. And Jimmy Walker of Providence College is in for the East All-Stars. Jimmy, number 24, in the white uniform of the Detroit Pistons. So the East lineup now has Alcindor 33, Hal Greer 15. That's Walker at the line. 25, Gus Johnson, and 22, Dave DeBusschere for the West. It's Chet Walker and Jerry West, Jeff Mullins, Bob Rule, and Joe Caldwell of Atlanta, who just comes in and scores. Makes it look simple. Joe Caldwell of Arizona State. 19-point average on the season here at the halfway point. And here's Lou Alcindor. And that was jumping Gus Johnson that tried to stuff it through. Jerry West, 25-19. Chet Walker. The West slowly but surely, Jack, closing the gap.
But as we said, now with Lou Alcindor in place of Willis Reed, it still presents a great problem as far as rebounding is concerned. And the West have to combat the rebounding of the East, and I expect Richie Guerin will do something very shortly to try and even up that statistic.
Well, let's see. The only starter on the floor is Jerry West for the West of the starting 10. Because Jimmy Walker, Gus Johnson, Hal Greer, Lou Alcindor, and Dave DeBusschere are playing for the West. DeBusschere to Greer. Looking for Alcindor, of course. Rule guarding him. And Rule hanging tough. Alcindor saving at the end line. Back outside to Walker. Back to Alcindor. Whoops. Walker. Dave DeBusschere rebounding Hal Greer's shot. It's 27-21 with 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Sellout crowd, the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Outside, a snowstorm. Chet Walker, now of the Chicago Bulls, formerly 76er, former teammate Hal Greer. (29 to 21). The first field goal for Greer. Jeff Mullins down in the corner to Joe Caldwell. Alcindor makes rebounding look easy. Greer. Walker. DeBusschere. Greer. Basket count. And Greer's foul. Jeff Mullins. apparently committed the foul. Let's watch it again.
There's a shot of Hal Greer going across the middle. He fakes up, goes up, and he's fouled at the top of his jump. You know, Chris, it's an advantage for players like Greer and Cunningham to be playing on their home court. The only two players that can boast that advantage, but it is an advantage to know the rims and to know the floor.
Joe Caldwell trying to put one in for the West, and Gus Johnson of Baltimore rebounds to Walker. Look at the fast break to Greer. Knocked out of bounds by either Mullins or Wilkins. Lynn Wilkins has come into the lineup for the West All-Stars. He, like Jimmy Walker of the East, graduate of Providence College. Lynn Wilkins, number 1 in assists. Here's Greer, guarded by Wilkins.
That's what I said about knowing the rims. Hal Greer with a home court crowd.
And now he has 7 points as Bob Rule gets 2 cracks at the rim. Alcindor in the rebound to Gus Johnson of Idaho. Well, that's the end of the first quarter. We'll return for the second period in just 1 moment. The score, the East 36, the West 21. Jack Madden, the official, will toss it up.
And Chris, very quickly we have seen how much the West misses Nate Thurmond, the leading rebounder in the NBA. He can combat Willis Reed and Lou Alcindor inside, which Elvin Hayes and Bob Rule have been unable to do thus far.
Gus Johnson to Jimmy Walker. An offensive foul. Incidentally, in that first quarter, the East was shooting 52%, the West 29. 36-21. You just joined us. Chet Walker, 25, trying to feed Rule, 45, who's guarded by Lou Alcindor. Now Rule at the end line. 18 seconds in which to shoot. Lynn Wilkins. And the player coach, Jack. Pretty good eye. 36-23. Comes to Bob Rule. Good position for the rebound, but Gus Johnson and Joe Caldwell. Johnson wins out. Oh! Hal Greer. Dave DeBuscher. Alcindor. How do you defend that shot, Jack?
Gus Johnson, there we saw just sheer strength. I shuddered every time I had to go up against Gus Johnson. He's about the strongest man, strongest forward in the NBA.
Jimmy Walker. There's Johnson. Stolen away by quick-handed Jeff Mullins to Lynn Wilkins. Wilkins to Caldwell. Over Alcindor. No basket. Foul.
He used his left hand. Joe Caldwell used his left hand to keep Alcindor off. Let's see that again in slow motion. You see for yourself up at the top of your screen. You really can't see it. The referee ruled that Joe Caldwell fended off Lou Alcindor with his left arm.
38-23. Gus Johnson's shot, rebounded by Caldwell. Rule misses. Off comes to Busher to Greer. Lead pass to Johnson. Jeff Mullins of the West. The West trailing. Chet Walker. Mullins. Dick Van Arsdale waiting to come into the ball game. Whoops, Caldwell stealing. Chet Walker, one of his favorite spots, Walker. With about 10 minutes remaining in the first half, 38-25, East leading. Alcindor of the East. Basket counts, foul called. Now we have Elvin Hayes, 11, and Dick Van Arsdale, one of the twin brothers, Van Arsdale twins, coming into the lineup. We'll be talking to Tom and Dick Van Arsdale, the first time that two brothers have ever played in an NBA All-Star game.
We're seeing the move that Richie Guerin talked to me about before the game. Elvin Hayes in there now. Hopefully we'll try and go out to the corner and bring Lou Alcindor out.
Largest lead by the East, 16 points. That's Dick Van Arsdale, number 5. Now Caldwell. Alcindor coming outside. Look at the length of those arms. Wilkins to Hayes. Al Greer at midcourt to Walker, then to the Busher. Van Arsdale defensively as Hayes rebounds. Wilkins. Hayes. to Busher. Al Greer. All 10 players, substitutes on the floor. Gus Johnson. 43-25. 18 points as Bill Bridges will come in for the West in a moment. Dick Van Arsdale. Wilkins.
The West a little disorganized. They just can't get anything going. They can't get any organization going because they have not been able to get their offense started, not being able to get the rebounds.
Gus Johnson. Walker. Alcindor, the ball kicked out of bounds. We look at Richie Guerin, the West coach. Bridges comes into the lineup, number 32, giving Chet Walker a rest. Now Elgin Baylor, one of the starters, comes back on the court, replacing Caldwell. And Flynn Robinson of Milwaukee replaces Jimmy Walker for the East.
Even in an all-star game like this, Chris, it's interesting to see the influence that an Alcindor and a Reed bring to a ball game. To have a big man inside stabilizes a ball club and gives it a great deal of confidence.
Gus Johnson, the hottest man right now, 6 points. Len Wilkins driving on Alcindor. Underhand pass to Hayes, and Hayes is fouled by Johnson. 45-27 if you're just joining us. We have 8 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the first half. And now, as we look at Hayes, in the lineup is Tom Van Arsdale. So the twins, opposing each other, are on the court, Jack.
And with Elvin Hayes at the line, it's reminiscent of the great battles that Houston and UCLA had when Elvin Hayes and Lou Alcindor were in college.
There's Tom Van Arsdale, number 5 in white. Gus Johnson, 25. Alcindor on the rebound, losing it to Baylor. Len Wilkins. Long pass, a beauty. And Hayes, 3-time All-America. Stuffs it. Second year as a professional. Made the team last year as a rookie. Greer, Robinson, 21. Tom Van Arsdale, 5 in white. His brother was trying to rebound, 5 in the red uniform. There he is, stealing it. Couldn't save it. Len Robinson, Greer, Tom Van Arsdale, and Hayes blocks it. Greer. 47-31. Len Wilkins. Long to Hayes all alone. 47-33.
Keeping everyone up to date, Elgin Baylor now back in the lineup. He has yet to score, and he and Robertson, who has 6 points, need 16 to break the record set by Pettit at 224.
There's Baylor, number 22, as Hayes, guarding Alcindor, fouls, as Billy Cunningham, one of the starters, comes back, and Gus Johnson goes to the East bench. This is Alcindor at the line. He has 5 points. 3 rebounds. Sixth in rebounds in the league, number 3 in scoring. .724 to go in the first half. Wilkins. Alcindor goaltending, 2 points. Wilkins now with 6.
Let's take a look at that. There's that shot. You cannot touch the shot on the way down. We couldn't see the ball at the top of the screen.
Tom Van Arsdale, Billy Cunningham. And we have a foul. Offensive foul on Van Arsdale. And at the moment, we have a timeout here in the second quarter at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The score, the East All-Stars 48, the West 35.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Red Holtzman, coach of the New York Knickerbockers, a team that set an NBA record, winning its first 18 games, now coaching the East. And at the moment, the East leads 48-35. 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Spectrum, built in '67, completed at a cost of $12 million.
Once again, you see very little team offense and defense. It's individual play, great stars playing against one another head to head. It's very difficult to develop an offense or a defense in a period of 2 days.
21, Flynn Robinson of the Milwaukee Bucks. Fouls Lynn Wilkins on the play. Wilkins, a young man, high school, boys high in New York. Failed to make the team. He was picked up at Providence College because of CYO basketball. As Hal Greer gets a round of applause. Wilkins is 3 for 3 from the field, and accurate at the line as Frazier replaces Hal Greer, number 10 in white. Flynn Robinson and Frazier are the backcourt men. The corners, Cunningham and Tom Van Arsdale, and at center, that man.
The East, in an effort to get the ball to Alcindor, are playing actually on the baselines. They're clearing out, opening it wide up for Alcindor to work one-on-one inside.
So the East has reached the half century and scoring now 52 points with 6:32 left in the first half. Elgin Baylor for the West. Picked up by Tom Van Arsdale. Now Alcindor. Under to Bill Bridges of Atlanta. And the foul is called on, looks like Lou Alcindor. That's his second.
There's Alcindor inside. Let's see if he did foul him. There's the shot, and Alcindor going up. Hard to see if there was a foul, but the referee ruled Bridges was fouled on the shot.
Bill Bridges of the Atlanta Hawks. 52-37, the East leading. Flynn Robinson. Billy Cunningham. Robinson, Cunningham. And they tried to hit the open man. They did, but Hayes defensively. Bridges for the West. Back out to Wilkins. Well, that's one way. Go under the armpits of Alcindor. Especially a shorter man like Len Wilkins at 6'3". Alcindor 7'2". Alcindor now 3 personal fouls.
Elvin Hayes battling very difficult job. He's trying to meet Alcindor head-on-head inside and has been very unsuccessful. I expect Hayes would be more successful to take him outside. Willis Reed now coming in for Lou Alcindor.
Willis Reed of the New York Knickerbockers. Number 19. Here we're looking at Wilkins. Wilkins with 8 points. Reed rebounding, giving to his Knickerbocker teammate Frazier. Picked up by Dick Van Arsdale. And this is Tom Van Arsdale. Here's Dick Van Arsdale, the 5 in red, who's looking for his first points. And Willis Reed. Goaltending. So the Van Arsdale twins each have a field goal. Glenn Robinson into Frazier. Some dribbling. Glenn Robinson of Milwaukee outside. Stealing the ball. Intended for Baylor. Willis Reed outside into the corner. Cunningham. Frazier. Robinson. What a shooter. Jack, I think you commented today that that's truly one of the great shooters in the NBA now.
He surely is. His arc is real high, and he throws up a very soft shot. A lot of the players in the league regard him as an excellent shooter.
Little contact in the lane. Here comes Frazier of Southern Illinois. The big, tall Elvin Hayes coming up with his 8th rebound. Dick Van Arsdale to Elgin Baylor. Lenny Wilkins. Bridges. Double team. And under the basket, Willis Reed covering. Jerry West now, number 44. Wilkins going to the West bench. And John Havlicek comes back in for the East. Well, we have a timeout here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The East is leading the West 58-40.
The story in this game so far, Chris, the West has just not been able to get Alcindor and Reed out from under the basket. Elvin Hayes, who is a pretty good outside shooter, has not been going outside. He's been staying inside trying to battle them, and he's been very unsuccessful. So Reed and Alcindor not allowing the West to drive in for the easy shots, making them take the poorer percentage shot. The East has been very successful.
Bridges with 1 point. 3 to neck 2. Bill Bridges of the Atlanta Hawks. Dick Van Arsdale rebounding. Hayes faking. Beautiful. Basket counts. Foul. Hayes, Elvin Hayes of San Diego to the line. Cunningham now has 3 fouls. Willis Reed, Frazier. For the West, it's Frazier. Or the East, rather. Here's Nick teammate Willis Reed, but Van Arsdale knocks it away. They control it and hit the open man. Cunningham to Havlicek. Havlicek with 3 points. Jerry West guarded by Walt Frazier. Nice little battle going on there. Dick Van Arsdale back to West. Bridges outside to Baylor.
That's Elgin's first field goal in the first half. So Baylor with 2 points.
Ball control of Jerry West to Bill Bridges. Baylor.
Step up. Hey!
Bill Bridges. And most of the country this Sunday will see Bill Bridges and his Atlanta Hawks hosting the Milwaukee Bucks on our NBA Game of the Week. In New York and in New England, it'll be Boston, New York Knickerbockers. West's second foul, and Oscar Robertson reports in for the East, replacing Glenn Robinson. Cunningham at the line. 6 points thus far. 60-47, the East in the lead. Jack Twyman will be talking to Will Chamberlain. I'll be visiting with Bob Cousy, Red Auerbach, Van Arsdale twins, and Jack, you will have a pair of great players on.
I'll come back with Jerry West and Oscar Robertson.
Okay. Speaking of Jerry West, there he is. Frazier makes his presence felt. The Lakers, Baylor. Hayes. 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first half. 62-49. Frazier leads Reed. Rebound comes off to Baylor. In these All-Star games, the Most Valuable Player award is given following the contest. So keep your eyes on all the individuals. That was Dick Van Arsdale, whose shot is rebounded by Cunningham. Reed was too far under. Bridges lead pass to Hayes. Boy, he is graceful, Jack. Elvin Hayes. 13 points and 9 rebounds.
He can go outside, inside. He's a great shooter and a great pro.
Off the hand of Jerry West. East will retain possession as Gus Johnson, 25 of Baltimore, comes in the lineup. Replacing Cunningham. Robertson to Frazier. Reed. Willis Reed of the Knickerbockers.
You know, we've mentioned matchups. If anybody looking in wants to learn how to play defense, watch Walt Frazier guard Jerry West. Frazier voted the best defensive player in the NBA last year, guarding West one-on-one. A great matchup.
The two centers, Hayes and Reed, each with 13 points. West will inbound the ball. For the East, we have Havlicek, 17, Johnson 25, Reed 19, Frazier 10, and Robertson 14. 64-51. The West with the ball, and they trail. Hayes. Baylor. Defensively, Havlicek and Johnson. This is Havlicek, number 17. Reed. 66-51. 15 points for Willis Reed. Now Dick Van Arsdale. Baylor. Gus Johnson. Frazier. Oh, what hands to Reed. Jerry West on the rebound, and backcourt two-shot foul on John Havlicek.
There's a replay of that rebound. There you see West going up and Havlicek coming in right there.
Jerry West at the foul line, 7 points thus far in the ball game. West in his 10th All-Star game. In as many years as a professional. Can't do any better than that.
Jerry West and Elgin Baylor, without Wilt Chamberlain, have kept the Los Angeles Lakers within striking distance of Atlanta. Currently, Los Angeles only 5.5 behind Atlanta in the Western Division race.
Walt Frazier. And Jerry West not only hit the ball, but the arm of the shooter. Foul on West. His third. Frazier, number 10 at the foul line. West, 44, of course. Frazier with 2 points. Southern Illinois product. Voted number 1 as a defensive team was chosen after last season in the NBA.
Lenny Wilkins, number 1 in assists. Walt Frazier, number 2 in assists in the NBA.
Lenny Wilkins resting on the West bench. Frazier commits the foul, and Jerry West is back at the line. Jerry West, the number 1 scorer, 31.2 average. Number 6 in assists. Frazier. (67-55). About 1:05 to go. That's Dick Van Arsdale guarding Robertson. 69-55. Robertson now with 8 points for the East. Fine shot by Bill Bridges of Atlanta. 69-57. Trailing by 12. Frazier of the East. Havlicek. Robertson. Reed. Hayes. And Bridges defensively, but Robertson. 71-57. Jerry West.
And Robertson now within striking distance with 10 points. He only needs 16 to get Pettit's record.
That was Van Arsdale shooting over Oscar. Reed rebounds, stolen by Baylor. A lot of traffic underneath, and Elvin Hayes. And Hayes back again at the foul line at 6'9½". Number 4 scorer, number 2 in rebounds. Awesome defensive player.
This is the penalty shot.
Elvin Hayes, number 4 scoring in the league. 26.6. 71-59. Here he is. Bridges. And time has expired. Here in the first half of the NBA All-Star Game, Red Holtzman and his East team in the lead, as you see. So we have the end of the second quarter, reminding you that we'll return with more of the East-West All-Star Professional Basketball Game after this word from your local station.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Back again at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. It's 71-59. The East All-Stars in the lead, and for the West, this is the scoring of the first half. Hayes with 15, followed by West with 11, and so on down the line. And Elgin Baylor with only 2 for the East All-Stars. The New York Knickerbockers, Willis Reed with 15. Cincinnati's Robertson with 10. Philadelphia's Greer with 9. Alcindor of Milwaukee, 8, along with Cunningham of Philadelphia, 8. It's been quite a first half. The East shooting 49%, the West 38%, as we look at the West coach, Richie Guerin, who gives Len Wilkins, player coach, a tap on the head in a friendly fashion. And they play hard once they're on the court, but they do have a good time, and they are on friendly terms in this particular game, Jack. But when they resume the second half of the NBA season, look out.
They sure do. There's the shooting percentage, Chris, from the foul line. 90% for the East, 67% for the West. And I was interested in Robertson's remark, not knowing that he only needed 6 to be the all-time all-star scorer. Let's see what the third quarter brings for the East and Oscar in that backcourt.
And each year the attendance in the NBA increases, and as we look at Robertson, there are over 15,000 watching here, a sellout crowd. And a man who received a lifetime pass, only the third in the history of the league, a gold pass, was the governor of Pennsylvania, Raymond Schaefer, a product of Allegheny College, where he played a lot of athletics, a 9-letter man. It was presented by Irv Kozloff, the president of the Philadelphia 76ers, in behalf of Walter Kennedy, the commissioner. Here's Willis Reed of the Knickerbockers. And the high scorer in this game gets another field goal. Lynn Wilkins, as we'll set the West lineup for you. Lynn treating himself to a beauty through the lane. Jeff Mullins, Bob Rule, Connie Hawkins, Joe Caldwell, and Wilkins are playing for the West, while for the East in white, Cunningham just gave the ball to Robertson, who goes around a Reed pick and passes back to Willis. Havlicek is also in the East lineup as Connie Hawkins of the popular Phoenix Suns puts one through.
And reminding again that at the end of this ball game, the most valuable player will be chosen, and I think now is the time to start picking your most valuable player and see if we agree. Willis Reed certainly will have to receive some consideration for his play.
This is Billy Cunningham, double team, rebound to Hawkins. Hawkins, a lead pass to Jeff Mullins. The West needs more field goals. They've cut the lead to 10 after trailing by 18, and it's traveling in their anxiety. All right, now Walt Frazier of the Knickerbockers with Robertson in the backcourt. In the corners, it's Havlicek and Cunningham. Reed at the pivot. Cunningham, bullet pass. Couldn't control it. Wilkins gets around Havlicek. Rule on the rebound. And now they trail by only 8. 10.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The East with the ball. Oscar Robertson, Cunningham. Look at him jump. Joe Caldwell with his 4th rebound for the West. Bob Rule. Havlicek. Frazier. 2-on-1. Robertson. Bob Rule controls the board for the West to Caldwell. 2-on-1.
And Richie Guerin's gamble is working with the shorter lineup, and Joe Caldwell. A lot more speed in that lineup, and they have not been hurt off the board, and they're getting the rebound and getting down there.
19 points and 9 rebounds for Willis Reed. Now we have Jeff Mullins, number 24 of San Francisco, playing for the West. Joe Caldwell, number 27, the Atlanta Hawks. Oscar Robertson. Walt Frazier. And a steal by Caldwell. But Reed gets it. Havlicek. Off to Cunningham. And Bob Rule fouls Cunningham underneath. 2 fouls on Bob Rule. Bob Rule, who is on the West squad as a result of a knee operation, to number 1 rebounder in the league, a super guy who's in the hospital in San Francisco, Nate Thurman.
And Rule, not expected to be here, as you mentioned, had a tonsillectomy scheduled but canceled it after Thurman's injury just to play in this game.
Connie Hawkins practically hands it in to Lynn Wilkins. 78-69 with 9 minutes remaining, third quarter. Frazier guarding Wilkins. There's Hawkins, now Caldwell. Oh, defensively, Willis Reed. Frazier and Robertson and Reed. Gives you an idea of Reed's speed. He defended on the opposite board and came right down in the play. 21 points for Reed. Jeff Mullins. And that's Reed defending. Can't defense a shot like that. 80-71. East in the lead. Lead pass to Havlicek. Caldwell guarding him. A switch. Rule goes to Havlicek, and Mullins steals the ball. A bullet to Hawkins. Rule. Pressure defense by Cunningham, and last touched by the West in the red uniforms. Walt Frazier to Robertson. Havlicek.
Red ball, red.
John Havlicek, who in 4 previous All-Star games had 18 points, 14, 26, and 14, having a little bit of an off night. Has only 3. And Lynn Wilkins with 12 points for the West, igniting their attack here in the third quarter. 80-73. Cunningham. "13 points for the Philadelphia 76ers, Billy Cunningham." Jeff Mullins.
The West hit only 39% in that first half, and as you can see, the shots that they were missing in the first half from the outside are now dropping, and the East is going to have to come out and guard those shots.
Frazier making that one. Jeff Mullins again, number 24. Joe Caldwell knocked away by Robertson and controlled by Oscar. No basket. Offensive foul. I guess Oscar used that elbow.
There's Robertson coming across the middle with the left arm. There you see Caldwell going up.
And in the lineup for the East, in the backcourt replacing Frazier, we have Hal Greer, number 15. So it's the guards, Greer and Robertson, bringing the ball across the divisional line. Cunningham and Havlicek in the corners. Reed in the pivot. Robertson.
As he goes up.
Jeff Mullins fouls Robertson. That's Jeff's second. 6:41 to go, third quarter. 84-75. And with 6:41 remaining in the third quarter here at the Spectrum, the score: the East 84, the West 75. Oscar Robertson of the line, the Big O, with 10 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 rebounds tonight. Willis Reed and Billy Cunningham are along the lane. Connie Hawkins and Bob Ruler there for the opposition. This is Hawkins in the Mullins. Mullins and Lynn Wilkins, the guards. The cornermen are Hawkins and Caldwell with Rule the center. 86-75. Hawkins guarded by Cunningham. Wilkins. Bob Rule and Reed battling for it. Controlled by Robertson. Al Greer to Havlicek. And Hundo now has 5 points.
Lenny Wilkins there throwing the ball out of bounds. He's a very stern player coach. You might have read that last week he was very unhappy with his team's play and fined everyone, including himself, $100 for lackadaisical play. Lenny Wilkins, the player coach of the Seattle Supersonics.
88-55. Bob Rule guarded by Reed. Knocked away, and Reed fouls on the play. Jack, why was that last basket no good?
There's the slow motion of the last basket, and there you see the ball up, and you're not allowed to touch the ball when it's in the sphere of the rim. As you saw, Reed went up and touched the ball while it was in the sphere of the rim. That's offensive goaltending. You're not allowed to do that.
1 foul for Bob Rule, not in the act of shooting. Bob now has 5 points for the West All-Stars. Greer, long to Havlicek. Greer. Knocked away by Mullins. And Robertson, who doesn't appear to be very fast, grabbing it, but he was on the sideline, out of bounds. Now, Dick Van Arsdale replaces Jeff Mullins, youngest of the identical twins. Len Wilkins. Connie Hawkins and Wilkins. Hawkins, oh yes. You like that play, Jack?
There you saw a good alert play on the part of the West team. Lenny Wilkins, Billy Cunningham sagging off of Connie Hawkins, which is dangerous to do in this league, and Connie wide open, getting the pass.
And the West gets the rebound. Joe Caldwell to Wilkins. Down in the corner, Van Arsdale. Dick Van Arsdale, who switched from forward to guard with Phoenix, while his brother made an opposite switch with Cincinnati. And now here is Havlicek. 88-80, 4:52 to go, third quarter. Reed. Robertson. Cunningham. Let's see what the call will be. Richie Powers, Jack Madden watching. On the deck is Bob Rule, number 45. Who'll get a rest now, replaced by Elvin Hayes. Robertson commits his third foul on that last play. He goes all out, doesn't he, Jack?
I think I might have given him a little incentive at halftime. There's Robertson with the ball. He's looking for Cunningham inside. And there you see the charging foul on Oscar Robertson.
Back live, Chet Walker replacing Caldwell, gives to Hayes. Hayes around to Van Arsdale. Up and in. Now the West trails by 6. Dick Van Arsdale with 6 points. And Dave DeBuscher in the East lineup saves it, gives to his teammate Reed. Havlicek of Boston. 90-82. Hayes. DeBuscher. That was tenacious Havlicek. Getting it out to DeBuscher. DeBuscher to Robertson. To Havlicek. 3:50 to go. DeBuscher to Robertson. Havlicek. John Havlicek. And we recall 2 years ago at the Garden, in the third quarter, Hal Greer had a spurt of 18 points and wound up with the MVP.
There's Havlicek getting that pass, using his 6'5" to go over Lenny Wilkins' 6'2". It's hard to say the foul there. Lenny Wilkins was pretty far away from Havlicek, but a foul was called. Havlicek at the line.
Havlicek has 8 points in this period. Total of 11. Now 12. 3:41 to go. Connie Hawkins guarded by DeBuscher, and then feeds his Phoenix Suns team, or rather, yes, his Phoenix Suns teammate, Dick Van Arsdale. 95-84. DeBuscher, Robertson, and Lou Alcindor is in the lineup. Goaltending. Havlicek now with 14 points. 3:05 to go in the third quarter. Wilkins. Havlicek. Robertson. Alcindor. And Hawkins. It's 2-on-1. Oh! Well, if it had worked, it would have been sensational. Now Jerry West comes into the lineup. Wilkins goes to the West bench. Robertson to Greer. So for the East, it's those two in the backcourt. In the corner, DeBuscher, the opposite, Havlicek. DeBuscher. And the center is Alcindor. Robertson. 99-84. Dick Van Arsdale. Chet Walker. Hayes has come out way outside, bringing Alcindor with him. Now they're in deep. Hawkins, the top of the key. Van Arsdale, Hayes. Oh, nice fake. Foul called. Hayes will go to the line. And that's the second foul on Greer. Elgin Baylor replaces Hawkins in the West lineup. There's Baylor.
And the East now back up on top by 15. It's almost as if when Alcindor came into the game, his mere presence inside made the West team aware, and they went back to shooting outside shots and had very little success in that spurt.
And with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third quarter here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the score: the East 99, the West 84.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Hayes with 15 points and 9 rebounds, hitting on 42% of his shots from the field. Now Hal Greer of the East. Robertson, if you just joined us, it's Alcindor who gets the ball. And Greer, Baylor knocked it out of bounds. For the East, Havlicek, Greer, Alcindor, DeBusschere, and Robertson. The West, it's Walker, Dick Van Arsdale, Hayes, Jerry West, and Elgin Baylor. That's West at the end line. Van Arsdale back to West Virginia's West. Hayes. There's Alcindor, 33. Moving the ball around. Knocked away by Robertson. Basket counts. Baylor fouls him. 16 points for Robertson.
And that's his 16 points. And there you see it. Robertson stealing the ball, getting the dribble. Great ball control by Robertson. Going up for the shot. And that was Oscar Robertson's 16th point. He now becomes the leading scorer in the history of the All-Star game.
Hitting on 7 of 10 from the field. That round of applause a moment ago was for John Havlicek, and he deserves it. He gets a rest now. And Gus Johnson of the Baltimore Bullets is replacing him. Oscar Robertson. Still a young man, Jack. Jerry West. 102-85. And a 25 to go third quarter. Dick Van Arsdale, Chet Walker. Now with the Chicago Bulls. Dave DeBusschere.
You know, you mentioned Oscar Robertson, still a young man. You wouldn't know what to talk to him. Every time you talk to him off the court, it's, man, I'm tired. I'm so old and tired. Until he gets his hands on the ball.
Dick Van Arsdale. That's Gus Johnson. Notice how high he went, giving to Greer. Van Arsdale. To Alvin Hayes. Walker on the rebound. DeBusschere. Now Robertson. Hal Greer. With less than 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter, 106-85. Greer fouls Jerry West. West now with 11 points in the ball game. Lou Alcindor. Robertson, Greer, Johnson. Traveling. 21 seconds. Weston and Van Arsdale outside. Walker and Baylor in the corner. There's Baylor. Shoving, pushing off by Elgin Baylor. His second foul. It's an offensive foul. Robertson long to Alcindor. DeBusschere. Johnson. And it is ruled a no basket as the buzzer sounds. The end of the third quarter. We'll be right back for the fourth quarter after this word from your local station. Snowing in Philadelphia is Alcindor and Hayes. controlled by the leading East is Jimmy Walker of Detroit. Has his shot rebounded by Hayes. So for the West, it's Jerry West, Lou Hudson, who had 57 points in one game this year, giving to Hayes. Also in the lineup, Elgin Baylor. And Bill Bridges of Atlanta. As Alcindor rebounds to Busher, to Gus Johnson. Walker and Greer, the backcourt man. Here is Walker. To Busher trying. Now Johnson. Hayes. West. Elgin Baylor. Elvin Hayes. 106-87. Here at the start of the fourth quarter.
And since Alcindor came back in the lineup, the complexion of this game changed. His presence inside is a disconcerting fact for the other team. The West team, him in there, has been forced to go outside, and they're back to the way they were in the first quarter, not able to hit the long shot.
DeBusschere now with 6 points. And Bridges rebounds Baylor's shot. And there's Gus Johnson. Good pass to Greer. And Jack mentioning Alcindor to say that he has helped the Milwaukee Bucks in their drive for the Eastern Division, right on the heels of the Knicks, actually.
He sure has. And again, like Wesley Unseld last year, taking Baltimore from last place to first place, and Lou Alcindor this year taking the Milwaukee Bucks and with the addition of one man, making a ball club a contender.
Lou Hudson of the Atlanta Hawks, All-American from University of Minnesota, gets his first point of the ball game. He's the number 6 scorer in the league with 25-point average. 110-89. Jimmy Walker to Dave DeBusschere. Greer. Rebounding Bridges, stolen by Greer. Walker. Alcindor. DeBusschere. That last field goal by Lou Hudson. 112-91. DeBusschere. Greer. Thompson. DeBusschere. 114-91. 10 points for DeBusschere. If you're wondering, the total one-team high in NBA All-Star competition, 153 points for the West in 1961. Lou Hudson of the West. Laid that one off to Hayes. Hayes fouled by Alcindor, who now has 4.
First ball, Alcindor is 4.
The applause is for Oscar Robertson, replaced now by Flynn Robinson, number 21 of the Milwaukee Bucks. Team that's really drawing in that fine sports city. And we have the Bucks against Atlanta on our NBA Game of the Week from Georgia this Sunday. Baylor off to Hudson. DeBusschere. Jimmy Walker. Gus Johnson, a high school teammate of Nate Thurman.
Johnson.
116-91. Baylor on a great assist to Hudson. About 8:50 to go. Knocking it out of bounds was a big, quick Bill Bridges as Tom Van Arsdale gives DeBusschere a rest. Points for Gus Johnson. Jerry West. Alcindor. 9 rebounds for Lou. Flynn Robinson is Milwaukee teammate travels. If you just joined us, For the West, the team with the ball in the red uniforms, Jerry West 44, Hudson 23, Baylor 22, Bridges 32, and this is Elvin Hayes 11. That's Jack Madden, the official, calling a holding foul against Jim Walker, and there's Red Holtzman of the Knickerbockers, division leaders in the East and the division leaders in the West, Richie Guerin of the Atlanta Hawks. They earned their right to coach these two great teams. Hudson now has 7 points. This is Tom Van Arsdale. Defense by Baylor and Alcindor over the top. Flynn Robinson, who played for Wyoming, fouled West. Here is Flynn, number 21, and West 44 picks him up. Alcindor. Unprecedented 3 NCAA titles for UCLA. Johnny Wooden and his crew. 7:49 to go in the game. There's Big Lou.
Personal, Alcindor.
And Lou now has 5 personals. And Willis Reed waves to the scorer and says, "I'm coming in." And Alcindor. They appreciate him anywhere. Elgin Baylor, the MVP in 1959. 11th time in this game. Elgin has had an off night. 1 of 6 from the field. He has 2 points in the game. 3. 120 to 96.
Loose ball foul. 5.
Tom Van Arsdale fouling on the play. And it's a loose ball foul. It's timeout with the East leading 120 to 96 at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
.42 remaining in the 20th NBA All-Star game. East has been so dominant, continue to be, leading the West 120 to 96. For the East, Willis Reed at center, Gus Johnson, Tom Van Arsdale, Jimmy Walker, and Flynn Robinson. While for the West, it's Bill Bridges, Jerry West, 22 Elgin Baylor at the line, Elvin Hayes, and 23 Lou Hudson. Elgin Baylor now with 5 points. Jimmy Walker. Gus Johnson. Robinson. Jerry West on the rebound. 5 for Jerry tonight. Lou Hudson. Knocked away by Walker. Hayes rebounding Hudson's shot. Cunningham waits to come in. Hayes now with 20 points. All right. Jerry West. Baylor. Gus Johnson Second foul. Billy Cunningham replaces Johnson, and Baylor goes back to the line. Jack, when you introduced the players, you gave the total of this man in the NBA, 12 years, just lots and lots, right? What, over 20,000 points?
You know, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, with that knee operation, it was thought that he wouldn't be able to play again. Baylor right back there with a great deal of determination. Much the same problem, Chris, that faces Wilt Chamberlain right now.
That shows you the determination of the Van Arsdales, and they got enough muscle.
There's Van Arsdale cutting across. Great body control. He shields the ball, and it was a pretty good move. It was hard to see a foul there. Great move by Van Arsdale.
On opposite teams, Dick Van Arsdale for the West has 8 points, and now Tom Van Arsdale has 5 for the East. Robinson, Baylor. Now Walt Frazier in the East lineup, number 10. A little behind the back bounce works, doesn't it? Frazier with 7 points, guarding West. A little body contact there. Jack Madden spots a loose ball foul on it's on Bill Bridges.
Chris, as we see the Philadelphia 76er officials collecting the most valuable player ballots from the sports writers that are in attendance here, it'd be a good time for the people watching it at home to pick their most valuable player in this game.
Did you get to vote, Jack?
I'm too busy.
That's the truth. Fast-moving game as Willis Reed. Look at that left-handed hook shot. Ooh, last touch by those in red. Joe Caldwell of the Atlanta Hawks places his Atlanta teammate Bill Bridges in the corner. Robinson, 125 to 104. Cunningham, stolen away by Caldwell. Watch him jump. Cunningham, look out. Frazier. Hayes. Baylor. West. 125 to 108. 14 points for Jerry. I think Walt Frazier is one of the best men in the league at finding an open man wherever he is.
He keys the New York offense. And speaking of the New York offense and Walt Frazier, we mentioned the Western Division race, but New York, with a record of 38-11, are playing great ball, but they look behind them, and there's Milwaukee with only 16 losses. So Milwaukee Bucks with Lou Alcindor far from out of it in that Eastern Division.
Elvin Hayes, a rebound, has 22 points. You saw his field goal a moment ago. Now Caldwell to Elvin. Hayes, incidentally, in addition to 22 points in this game, has 14 rebounds. Whereas we're looking at Oscar Robertson, Coach Red Holtzman also sends in John Havlicek, Tom Van Arsdale, and Flynn Robinson on the bench now. So it's Frazier and Robertson in the backcourt. What a pair. Elgin Baylor steals it. Lou Hudson. 4:24 left in the game. Hudson with 9. 127, 112. Robertson now with 19 points. And there's a timeout here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Final 4 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock in this 20th annual All-Star game. The East 129, the West 112. There you see Richie Powers and Lou Hudson, 23 and 44, Jerry West.
As we look at Jerry West, again a reminder, Oscar Robertson, number 14 in the East with 19 points, breaking the all-time all-star scoring record of 224 points, set by Bob Pettit by 4 points.
Hudson of the Atlanta Hawks on the field goal. He now has 11 points. Walt Frazier. Cunningham rebounds. Willis Reed. Hudson tapping it to Caldwell. Foul. Let's see. Backcourt foul. Willis Reed now with 4 personals.
Here's slow motion of that play. There, he grabbed him right there as he went around.
You're looking at Jumping Joe Caldwell. He got that nickname while at Arizona State because he jumped over the top of a convertible.
Another apropos nickname for Joe Caldwell is Pogo, and that's what his teammates call him.
That was Jack Twyman, who played in 6 NBA All-Star games, and in 1 scored 27 points in the first half. Oscar Robertson. Oh, boy. Like Willie Moscone with a cue stick. It's put English on the ball. 9 of 12 from the field for Oscar. Caldwell. Oh.
Caldwell isn't even cracking a smile on that one, Chris.
131 to 118. Havlicek guarded by Chet Walker. Robertson. Frazier.
Should we make an attempt, Chris, to describe Frazier's outfit as he came to the game tonight?
Well, it was as wild an exterior attire as the interior attire of Wilt Chamberlain, right?
I think he had a sealskin coat on, patent leather pumps, bell-bottom shoes, and a Bonnie or a Clyde hat from the old days of Bonnie and Clyde.
That's why he's nicknamed Clyde. You're looking at him now. Robertson. Cunningham. Traveling. That was a traveling call. It could have been an offensive foul, too, couldn't it have? He really put his shoulder into Caldwell. Well, with only 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the Spectrum, the score is the East 131, the West 120. Jerry West to Lou Hudson. 2:33 to go. It's 131 to 120. The West trailing. Well, that helps matters. Brings them within 9 points.
You know, Chris, that is reminiscent of the Chicago-Milwaukee game the other night, where with only 4:30 left in the game, Milwaukee was ahead by 15 and lost the ball game. So with shooters like we have out there on the floor and with a 24-second clock, anything can happen.
Spectacular basketball, and there will be a doubleheader on Thursday, January 22nd at the Astrodome in Houston. An NBA spectacular, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, Milwaukee. This is John Havlicek. Let's see, on the 8 points now, separating these two teams. 2:15 to go. MVP at stake. Robertson of the East in the running, I'm sure. Hayes of the West. Well, and Reed of the East. We'll see. Billy Cunningham. He intended that for Reed, but was knocked away. And Jerry West, let's see. Was he on the line? Forced out of bounds. He was forced out of bounds. There he is. 2:05 to go. 131 to 123. This is Chet Walker, guarded by Havlicek. Back outside to West. And now they trail by only 6 points. 19 points for Jerry West. The East with the ball. goaltending called against Hayes. He tried to erase it, but it was there.
And once again, Elvin Hayes going up in the air. Once the ball starts on its downward path to the basket, you can't disturb it. And the referees ruled that Hayes caught the ball on its way down to the basket.
1:40 to go. Here's Hayes now. Reed on him. And let's see. Jack Madden stops a foul on Greer. And going to the foul line here in the closing 2 minutes of the game, the lineups for the East in the lead. Well, first the West as we look at Jerry West, Chet Walker, Lou Hudson, Joe Caldwell, and Elvin Hayes. While for the East, it's Willis Reed, Billy Cunningham, Hal Greer, Oscar Robertson, and John Havlicek. Trailing by 7 now. The East with the ball. The press is on. At the midcourt, Greer leading Havlicek. Oh! Havlicek now with 16 points. I'm glad I wasn't asked to vote now.
Let's you and I go out on a limb, Chris. You pick your most valuable player.
I don't have time, Jack.
I'm going to stick my neck out and pick Willis Reed.
All right. I'll go along with that. Reed now with 5 personal fouls. There's Lou Hudson. This is the man that has had 13 points all here in the second half. Now 14. 1:10 to go. 135 to 127. 135 to 128. Going by Greer. And Oscar Robertson quickly forms the tee with both hands. Timeout. And there's still a discussion about what happened on that last play. I believe they're going to award the ball out of bounds to the East, and Joe Caldwell of the West wondered why. And there you see Willis Reed, 19, Robertson, 14, 32, Billy Cunningham, 17, John Havlicek, and 15, Hal Greer. And Hudson, 23, and 44, Jerry West. Right in front of us, Hal Greer. Joe Caldwell, who had the ball, was out of bounds, so it was awarded to the East. That's Havlicek. Guarded by Hudson. Now Robertson. Havlicek. Cunningham. Greer. Willis Reed and Hayes battling for it. And Reed, 6 fouls. Let's see.
There's Greer's shot. Reed coming in. Number 19 coming in over the back. There you see, makes it with his body right there. Foul called on Willis Reed.
Listen to the applause for New York Knickerbocker Willis Reed. And he is really disappointed. So we were playing in an NBA playoff game. He goes to the bench, and here's the man that he's had to play against. Elvin Hayes with 22 points and 14 rebounds. Now make it 23. Reed with 21 points and 12 rebounds. 51 seconds left in this game. Getting it back was Hudson. Once more, Joe Caldwell. Al Cindar, who replaced Reed. Havlicek. Greer. Back to a 9-point lead. Greer with 15 points. Hudson. Al Cindar. In its upward motion. Havlicek. Oscar Robertson. Hayes knocks it away. Jerry West. 24 seconds to go. Caldwell. Basket counts, foul on the play. 1 shot.
You think enjoying himself out there? He went down on the floor after a ball. He blocked the shot. And here's slow motion of Caldwell driving across. Right there with a foul. He got him on the arm. Caldwell goes in for the basket.
And most unusual, both East centers have fouled out. Reed and Al Cindar. And Gus Johnson comes in. Alcindor, 10 points, 10 rebounds. At the line is Joe Caldwell. 20 seconds to go. 139 to 133. Well, the West has tried hard. They've battled back. Robertson of the East to Havlicek. They've won 5 of the last 6. In the series, it's 13 victories for the East and 6 for the West. That's Joe Caldwell looking at the overhead computerized scoreboard. Walker commits the foul, and one of the great competitors in any sport, John Havlicek, at the line. 16 points. .140, 133, 9 seconds left in the game. Jerry West leads. 5 seconds to go. Cunningham. 1 second. That's it. All right. 142 to 135. Here's J. Walter Kennedy. Bob Bertone of the Philadelphia 76ers handing the trophy to Walter Kennedy. And I wouldn't be surprised to see number 19. There he is, Willis Reed of the New York Knickerbockers. He's been in 6 All-Star games in as many years in the league. He's 6 for 6. And he's from Grambling, captain of the New York Knickerbockers. And boy, is he happy. Willis Reed joins other great names like Oscar Robertson, who's won it 3 times, Hal Greer once, Adrian Smith, Bill Russell, Bob Pettit 4 times, Bob Cousy 2 times, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Sherman, George Mikan, Paul Arizin, and Ed Macaulay. Let's go out to Jack Twyman.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris. I'm here with Commissioner Kennedy and Willis Reed. Willis, a great ball game.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, I enjoyed it very much.
How do you feel at a time like this?
Very happy. It was a good ball game, especially I thought we were really going to blow it open, but the West kept coming back and ended up being a real tight ball game.
Once again, the final score, the East 142, the West 135.